Yes, sir. Back with another one. Welcome to another installment of the Hoodie and the Headband podcast show. I'm your co-host, Bryce Warner.
Oh, you didn't do that as always this week.
I
This
always,
man
I
really
always,
trying to
always
throw
take
me
you out. I
off,
always
bro.
take you out.
He always trying to throw me off.
I went back to the regular.
But I'm your coach, Tariq and
And we are joined by the one and only Michael Lofton, ML, once again. ML, how you doing, my man?
Man, I've been getting packed up all day, dog. I ain't gonna lie. It's been tough. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, you brought up interesting that thing on the group chat. Was this worse than getting swept? I'm interested to have that discussion with
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Reek later, but let's give it up for the real life version of Nathan Shelley, Eric Spoelstra, the best. Yeah, Eric Spoelstra is the best basketball coach in the world.
That's a fact.
Men's, women's, Pee Wee, AU.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at
He's
it.
the best basketball coach in the world. And maybe has been for quite some time. And I actually, all you got to do is give him props. But we'll get into that. I got some specific, I took some specific notes. I got notes. I took notes after each of them. I do have notes. I do have notes. I do have notes because I was preparing for history. But then, we'll get to that in a little bit. But congrats to Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, Alonzo Mourning, and the Miami Heat, the organization. We're gonna have I have some thoughts on culture.
For sure. But
looking forward to those.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. So as you all know, as ML mentioned, we thought, well, not we, a lot of people thought history was gonna happen. I mean, I thought for a little second. I thought they won game 6, momentum is shifting, they're at home in front of the home crowd. It was all shaping up for them to win, right? And it's like, I don't know. They brought in all their old players, brought in who? IT, Rondo, Eddie House, Paul Pierce, a couple
bunch of losers. A bunch of losers.
Tariq ain't wasting no time with the slander, man. I love it. But yeah, them boy lost, and they got blown out in a game 7, which is just sad to see. Normally, game 7s, you are it's competitive, it down to the wire, nitty gritty. But this one was just bad to watch. It was just bad to see, man. Like it was bad to see, but being that it was the Celtics, it was a thing to see, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, ah. But yeah. So yeah, Celtics did not complete the 3-0. Although they had all this hype, they did not complete the comeback. And they played, I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird game. Like the energy was, I don't say weird, but it's just, I don't know. Seeing Jason Tatum roll his ankle in the first, couple seconds of the game, I was like, oh.
The very first offensive play.
All right, first, before we even continue any further, I want to hear Tariq's opinions on how he felt during this time. Because you guys were up 3-0. They got 1. They said, don't let us get 1. And it was looking like, oh, hey, don't let us get 1 because you can get the rest of the foe. How was you feeling?
All right, so when they won game 4, I wasn't worried. I was mad that we played with our food, but I was like, whatever. Like, we got 3 more games to win. Or we have 3 more games to win 1 at the very least. We lost game 5. That one I was a little pissed about because I'm like, come on, like you can they can win, but don't let them blow us out and they get too much confidence, and then we lose confidence. And it seemed like game 5 we had kind of lost some, and then game 6 is one of the most frustrating games I've ever watched as a Heat fan, and I watched 2011 LeBron in the finals. So seeing Jimmy go to the rim and pump fake, pass, pump fake, pass. Every time he got to the rim, that shit was really getting on my nerves. But then you had Caleb Murray getting a bucket.
Getting buckets.
Gabe Vincent getting a bucket. Duncan finding ways to get a bucket. whether it be a backdoor cut, which he was killing them whole series, killing them on backdoor cuts. Like, everybody else is making plays except the two that we need to make plays, and Jimmy and Ben.
I saw that.
And then 3 minutes left. And then the crazy part is, as this game is happening, I'm thinking about Game 7 last year. And I'm like, this is the same way we played in Game 7. And then with 3 minutes left, Jimmy went crazy. And we got back into the game. And it's the same thing that happened in Game 6. At the end of Game 6, Jimmy went to the rim and didn't fucking pump fake and actually laid the ball up. Got an and-1. Duncan hit a 3. And now we're back in the game. Now, if Duncan makes one of those 2 threes that he missed, we're not even having a conversation about a Game 7. He had 2 good looks, but you could see as soon as he shot it, his right arm wasn't the way that it normally is. Like, when he dribbled, took a beat, and shot it, I was like, that's off. And then the one where he shot it on the left, on the pull-up, when they threw it to him, you can see he rushed it a little bit. Like, he didn't need to, but in that heat of the moment, like, you can't blame him for rushing the shot a little bit. So that's 2 shots that we wish we could have had back. And then obviously, the last shot they give it to Marcus Smart was crazy. Crazy.
One stop.
Which didn't surprise me.
One stop.
I didn't even mention Jimmy getting fouled at the 3-point line, making all 3. So he makes the third one. I am quite literally, no bullshit. You can laugh if you want. I do not care. I legitimately had happy tears rolling down my face. I have not been this happy about a Heat win since 06, probably.
I'm sorry.
Laughing. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's
I gotta laugh.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm only laughing because I know the end result of this game. So,
my thing is, I've had to watch this team struggle all fucking season. I've had to watch Hassan Whiteside be our best player, Josh Richardson be our best player, fucking Dion Waiters be our best player. Like, it was fucking rough. I had to watch D Wade leave, come back, retire, and I'm like, oh, I'm sticking with the squad. Like, we rolling with them. Bam takes a leap. We get Jimmy. Duncan gets $90 million, and he kind of like falls off. But he was the same player. He just wasn't making threes to the same extent that he was the year prior. Which happened. Tyler takes a lead. We get more, we get Gabe, we get Strus, we get Caleb Martin. We get all these guys to come in. They buy in. We get to Game 7 last year. We're a literal shot away from being in the NBA Finals. Shit don't go our way. We come back this year. Injuries hinder us again. We end up being an 8 seed. We lose to the Hawks in the play-in. We're down. We were literally down, 9, 10 points to Chicago with like 4 minutes left?
Yeah.
So we lose that game. None of this even happened. Milwaukee probably in the finals now.
Bro.
Because they're not losing to Chicago, even if Giannis hurt.
Bro, I saw a tweet, and it was like DeMar DeRozan not letting his daughter skip school. DeMar DeRozan not letting his daughter skip school for the Miami playing game. Might be the cause of all of this.
Shout out to Debo. So yeah, and then obviously, and they called it out before during the inbound, they called out that Strus was face guarding Tatum. He wasn't trying to let Tatum get the ball, so that means they had to give it to somebody else. So that means his guy is gonna be open. So they also said somebody's got to get back to Derek White. Somebody's got to find Derek White because Marcus Smart could have caught it and threw it right back to Derek White for the 3, and he would have been wide open. Marcus Smart decided to take the shot. That left Derek White open for the box out. And people tried to blame Strus, but that's not his fault. The coaches told him to do that. He didn't just take it upon himself to face guard Tatum. That's what he was told to do. He was told to face guard Tatum. If you face guard Tatum, you're not thinking about, oh, let me go get back to Derek White. Y'all told me to get on Tatum for a reason. I'm not about to face guard him. And then as soon as the ball inbounds, I'm going to run back. Now, could he have? Sure. But that's not what's going through his head. And it is human nature. How many times we've all played basketball? How many times was a shot going up and y'all haven't thought about boxing nobody out? Especially a last second shot. You went, please don't go in. Please don't go in. Shit don't go in, a tip in. What the fuck? You wasn't even thinking about somebody going, because everybody, everybody else is doing the same thing. If you watch, only one person is running to the rim. It's only Derek White. Everybody else is looking. Nobody else is moving. So, like, for them to blame that shit on Strus just doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just got reminded of when I lost to my crosstown rival the same way. Dog. Listen, it was some BS too, bro. I can't believe I'm talking about this right now. But they inbound the ball, right? So what was it? We scored and then we called time, or even we called timeout, they called time. No, somebody called timeout. It was a timeout. But see, they had to inbound the ball from like the end. They didn't get to do a side inbound. They inbounded from the end. So I think we called a timeout. So their point guard is dribbling down, right? And they don't start the clock until he passes half court.
Oh, I remember seeing.
And we was in there. We was in their gym too. They didn't start the clock till he passed the first 4 seconds left. And no, he fast, but he ain't John Wall, Darren Fox fast to get down the court in less than 4 seconds to put up a shot. He shoot the shot. Ball hit off the top of the backboard. They ain't even call it that. And bro, get the rebound, put it back in off the glass. I'm hurt all over again, dog. And I thought about that immediately whenever I saw Derek White tap the ball back in. I was like, dang, bro, I know that's a different type of hurt right there. But, hey, I like Jimmy's attitude. Jimmy was just like, we good. I'm going to go home and play spades.
I was kind of bothered by it, honestly.
You was bothered by it? I can tell you was bothered by the series of tweets you made talking about how Jimmy's not playing.
Were you bothered by Jimmy, or were you bothered by Spo, or were you bothered by both of them after the comments? Because they both wanted to win.
This man said the others right here to play.
Always like, wait, say it again.
This man said in the second half. All right, he said this is after the game. No, not after the game. This was okay. This was going into or like some part of the game. He said, I've been optimistic about this Heat team all season, all playoffs, my whole life pretty much. The others are here to play. Jimmy is not. And for all the talking he does, this is when he needs to take the effing challenge and help get his team to the finals. They really about to let this team come back from 3-0. Jaylen Brown gets away with the off on every possession is crazy.
He really did.
Duncan Robinson almost Joe Harris, y'all boy, man.
I'm not even no.
Duncan Robinson was Joe Harris, y'all boy.
No, you bringing up the game 7 overtime?
He had only one of those shots were good looks. The second shot wasn't a good look. Like, it's not a bad look. Like, Duncan Robinson can for sure make that shot. And I definitely wasn't mad at him making that shot because I was screaming like throw it to Duncan.
You were screaming?
But on the run, what do you think I was doing?
Oh, I'm playing. I know you were.
Like, he's on the run, on the left wing. Like, that's a tough shot to make. He's on the hash.
Yeah.
And as soon as he catches, he lets it flop. That's not an easy shot to make. I'm not giving him y'all not about to put Joe Harris on him. Because he was y'all not about to do that. Because he's the reason we was back in the game.
Yeah.
If he didn't make the threes in the back door cuts with Bam passing to him in the game at like 3 or 4 minutes prior, we were not even back in the game.
Bring the lead down to like what 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you tweeted, "I hate basketball." This was like after the game.
This was
and bro was like,
this was right after Derek White.
Yeah, and bro was like, "Bryce, you about to do the show by yourself?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Nah, man."
I was dead serious too. If we would have lost last night, I was for sure not showing up today.
It just would have been the headman.
Yeah. I was like, hey, he gonna be ice on. It's gonna be a nice podcast for Bryce.
No hoodie, just a headband.
Literally. The headband show. I was not showing up. But I was bothered by his. I don't need somebody to be like fake rah-rah. I don't need somebody to be like, oh, nah, we gonna come in here, we gonna do this. I don't need none of that. But I need to make, like, it would be different if he was aggressive the whole game. And he said that. He like, no, I'm confident what we gonna do. I'm gonna go home and play spades. Like, I'm not worried about it. The fact that he, for 45 minutes, he played like a middle schooler playing against NBA players, like that shit was not sitting right with me. Like, you gotta have some type of like. It just felt like nobody had accountability for what had happened the last 3 games. Like, it shouldn't have got to that point, and no one was wanting to say, "Hey, Jimmy got to be better. Bam has to be better." Like, somebody got to speak up at some point. They probably did in the locker room. I'd rather them do it in the locker room than in the media. But I also don't want them in the media like, "Oh no, it's just another game and we're gonna get one." After every game, they were like, "Yeah, it's all good. We're gonna get the next one." And now we're 3-3. We should have never been 3-3 in Boston. We should have had a couple more days rest. Gabe would have never hurt his ankle. Jimmy would have never re-hurt himself, and we'd have been perfectly fine. Bam could have rested his shoulder. Tyler could have got a few more like days, like not have to worry about like, oh, are we actually gonna make it? Like, if we sweep them or win in 5, Tyler can like ramp up. He ramped up after like before game 7 because he's like, all right, we have an actual shot at like winning this now. But it's like if you win in 5, he ramps up 6 days ago, and we're having a different conversation now. Yeah. Not saying, and that's not me saying that he should definitely play, because I feel like it's gonna be hard for him to find a rhythm in the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
in the middle of the NBA Finals at that. Like, we just had the conversation. We just had the conversation last week about Jamal Murray coming back to the Warriors and why that would have been a bad choice. I think this could possibly be a bad choice too. Like, you're bringing him in, and not to say Tyler only does one thing. Like, he definitely brings some type of gravity to the court. But if he's not scoring, he's not doing much. Like, we saw when he was injured against Boston last year, they were able to hunt him out because he couldn't move on his hamstring. So if he's not scoring, what is he bringing us? Yeah, sure, we need some more playmaking, but we can find ways to do that. Like, we don't necessarily need him to come back to win this series. And in game 7, the day after, I wasn't very confident in us winning game 7. The day of, I was like, we're winning this. There's no way we're going to lose 4 straight. There's just no way. Okay. And I was like, Boston doesn't have the mental capability to win 4 straight. To go into a game 7 and be like, no, this is ours, we're taking it. The first 5 minutes was telling. I think they were up, 9-4? Mm-hmm. And then I looked at the score. By the time I got to Buffalo Wild Wings, the score was 11-13. I was like, oh, we're good. We're good. We're right here. All we needed was run. And I was saying this in the past game. Like, if we could have gone on a run in game 5 or 6, Boston would have just laid down. That shit happened in game 3. We went on a run, and they was like, fuck it. We're just going to go sit on the bench for the whole 4th quarter. They didn't even, Tatum and Brown didn't even move off the bench. They didn't even move different seats. So I was like, if we get one extended run, which we got like 2 of them yesterday, and then after that, it was wraps. Because every time they would get it to like 7, we'd push it back to 12. They get it to 6, we push it back to 10. And that's why we were winning, because we got ahead or we stayed here, we went on a run, and they weren't able to catch back up, because when Boston gets down, they're gonna jack up them fucking threes. And they were 5 for 40 in the last like 5 quarters yesterday from game 6. Yeah, from game 6 to game 7, like I think they said the last 5 quarters at one point, they were 5 for 40 from the 3-point line. And they was just letting them shits fly. And I'm like, this is just like Houston.
I was about to say.
It was just like Houston against Golden State. They just kept shooting. Like, get to the rim, get fouled, play defense. Like, find a different way. Like, they're like, nah, we just gonna let these shits fly. And the bad part about it is they won game 5 and 4 because of the 3-point line.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, well, we can come back because of the 3-point line. Not necessarily. When teams make adjustments, you have to adjust to those adjustments. Boston did not adjust to those adjustments. And you can say that's on Missoula. These players have been in enough situations to realize, hey, I don't have to shoot this fucking 3. I can pump fake, get to the rim. I can pump fake, take a mid-range. Like, for some reason, these dudes like, nah, somebody closing out, I'm gonna just shoot this three anyway. I don't understand it. Caleb Martin should have been Eastern Conference MVP. I was arguing this yesterday. He averaged 18 on 60% from the field, 42 from the three. Jimmy was 31 and 41% from the field.
Shot 20% in games.
Good. Yeah. Like
that's why we gotta get rid of that thing, man.
Like 5 for 17 or 5 for 27. Like
that's why we gotta get rid of the conference finals MVPs, bro. I'm sorry. I was not a fan of it when they brought it in. Not a fan of it now.
I don't hate it. But like and this is no knock on Jimmy. Like Jimmy played great 1 through 3. But 4 through 7, he wasn't Jimmy. And that's why we ended up playing 4 more games.
Yeah, Jimmy was
3 more games.
3 quarters of game 6, and then he showed up at the end of the fourth, like fourth quarter.
But Caleb played the whole game 6, was hooping. Game 7 blew up because Caleb Martin was cooking. Yeah. And I ain't talking about pull-ups. I'm talking went baseline on, who was it, Horford? Went baseline,
he was
behind the back, fake spin, got into the paint, pump fake, spin, fade away, cash. What? And I'm in Buffalo Wild Wings. Best player in the league. Every time he shot the ball, I said best player in the league, and that shit went in. Motherfuckers was looking at me like, come on, bro. But they couldn't even say that. He can't make a shot. He can't make it.
All series. All series.
They wanted to say, like, boy, you bugging. But every time I said it, he made it. And then it's like, I don't even know. Like, obviously, he's not the best player in the league, but it was hilarious because he was making all them shots. Like, Caleb has been a guy that can score. He just never had the confidence or the like green light to like, hey, get to your spot. Like for a while, he's like, all right, we need you to shoot these threes, like in the corner, maybe on the wing, get a pump fake, get a dunk type shit. Now it's like, all right, we got confidence in your whole offensive bag. Do your thing. When we need you to do it, do it. And that's what he did in this series and prior series. Like the offensive rebound against Milwaukee that leads to his jumper, and then Jimmy coming down and getting the 3 the next possession on the fast break wins us that series against Milwaukee. Against New York, he played great. Like Jimmy hasn't had a great series since Milwaukee, and that was what the last 2 games. Like I'm not saying he's had a bad series, but he hasn't been like, oh, playoff Jimmy. He hasn't been playoff Jimmy. Like
the ankle though, from the next series.
For sure. Definitely the ankle is like giving him a little bit of problems. Yeah. But he hasn't had like that playoff Jimmy performance since the Milwaukee series.
Y'all remember old boy in the corner where he was there the Knicks game 1 and they brought it back in to be a decoy. Yeah, he was like
and they just left him over there.
Way
they
too
didn't
much.
Leave him. They was like actually guarding him. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, no way y'all are stupid.
Way too much.
Now
I noticed that you cool with. I noticed that you giving people passes for their ankles, but go ahead. No,
but like granted, like game 1 and 2 of this series, he did go crazy. Like game 2, like Grant Williams talking too much, he got cooked. Like it happens. Game 1 was it game 1 or game 2 where he had 6 steals?
Or probably I don't know.
I think it was game 1.
I think it was game 1. Yeah.
And then Grant was like,
and some of them Boston
this stat line was nasty.
Man, the decision making from Boston in this series was left a lot to be desired. For 2 All-NBA guys to make the decisions that they make as playmakers is very bad. And for Jaylen
Brown, isn't a playmaker though. That's part of the problem.
That's fine. But if you're gonna be an All-NBA player, and somebody told me that he might be the best 2 guard in the league, he gotta work on that handle. There's no way at this point in his career he's still getting stripped, going to the rim. Still has to push off with the off arm every time he's going to the rim. Like. He got stripped a lot last series or last playoffs, and they was cooking his handles. There was jokes all over.
He's not improved very.
How many turnovers he had last night? Were like 8 or 9?
A lot. He had
8 turnovers.
8 turnovers.
That's crazy for your All NBA guy who's trying to get a Supermax deal. They about to put almost $500 million between 2 players. That'll be crazy.
That'll be interesting for them if they do it though. But I don't know if they're going to.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We don't know if Jaylen Brown want to stay.
It's funny. Everybody was like, "Yo, delete all those Jaylen Brown jersey swaps." Like every other team was like, "Hey, yeah, man, get rid of them Nick jersey swaps for Jaylen Brown, or get rid of them the whatchamacallit.
And now we don't want him no more.
Those Atlanta jersey swap for Jaylen Brown. Like everybody turned on Jaylen Brown last night. It was crazy.
That's Twitter for you.
Oh yeah,
That's Twitter. But if New York traded for Jaylen Brown, if they traded R.J. Barrett and fucking quickly for Jaylen Brown, they'd be, we winning the championship. We winning the championship this year. We win the championship. So I'm not taking anything. Like we said last week, Twitter is not the space. Like for a lot, 95% of NBA Twitter is not the space to go to for actual hoops discourse. So.
No.
But our resident Celtics fan, how you feeling about all this?
Jason Tatum fan, you gotta get it right. Jason Tatum and
yeah, I'm gonna say Tatum. No, Brad Stevens.
Tatum and Brad Stevens supporter.
It's until they fire them both, until they get traded or they get fired. Yeah, that's family. It's different. Obviously, Jason. I thought that he has been. I think it's fair to say Jason was the best player in the Eastern Conference for these playoffs, in my opinion, leading up until Game 7. Just because of what I saw. You saw Jimmy's drop-off. So, and we saw what we do with Embiid. The Sixers are not a rival with the Celtics until they ever win a playoff series. Right now, Tatum, I think, is now 4-0 against Embiid in playoffs.
Gotta be, yeah.
Jason Tatum has 2 rivals in the East. 2 only. That brother in Milwaukee, our Greek brother, and actually the one who is now taking over the lead now in the rivalry, and that's 22, wearing black and red. Junior. I will just call him Junior because I think he's a junior, but we don't want to go there. Junior. He's a junior, as far as I'm concerned.
Wouldn't he be the third, though?
Until I said, nah, because who was older?
Oh,
yeah. Timothy was a little older, and you know how that goes sometimes. They say that he wasn't in an Italian family. How they protect to preserve the firstborn. I'll just keep it at that. Yeah, so Jimmy Butler, he's taking the torch from Jason in the rivalry, and that's okay. And, you know, obviously we saw what happened in the bubble. Brad Stevens got outcoached by Eric Spoelstra. I believe it was Game 6. Here's the issue. It's been 3 years. 3 years of this shit. Boston still does not how to play against a zone. It is horrible. And Spoelstra is like, you know what? I was holding it back to the end of Game 6. The reason why those dudes got so confident, because you know what happened? The exact same run, almost to a T, happened in South Beach. Y'all aren't American Airlines anymore, are you?
No.
Where does
we were something FTX, but then that fell through.
Yeah.
So we got some random name right now.
Boston in Game 7. Yeah, in Game 7 on the road did exactly what they did in Game 6 this year. And what I mean by that, Miami, I believe, was on an 11-0 run with over the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds leading into the Jimmy pull-up 3. I didn't love the shot personally. I was like, Jimmy, just get to the rim. Yeah. I'm like, and then maybe they're going to, you know, play the Warriors in the finals. I didn't like the shot then. They did the same thing in Game 6, and you see the difference. Jimmy said, damn, that the pull-up 3 is what gave him confidence because they switched on to Horford again. And the switch on to Horford, and this is what Boston doesn't understand. Let's go back to Game 1 of the Philly series. James Harden, no Joel Embiid. James Harden does his thing. Boom, boom, boom. Switch on to Horford, switch on to Al. Dip. Step back 3, bang. All right, we out of here. We get a stop, 2 free throws, we out of here. Took the lead. folks love getting switched on a Horford now in terms of from perimeter players. The worst thing you do as a big man, you have your hands down on defense because Jimmy just going through that and then going up and he got the and one. Exactly. And what he did was take advantage. He didn't even get physical with him. It's about getting angles. Does anybody get better angles in basketball than 22?
No.
His way of getting to his spots, once again, another junior reference.
I would
Nobody
say
gets spots.
There's
Devin.
one
Your
player.
boy. Your boy.
No,
your boy.
No, not even him. I would put him in the 3. But there's one guy that gets to his spot, and when he is on, nobody stops him if he gets there. It's Kawhi.
Oh, you said Kawhi.
Kawhi.
I thought you was going.
Actually, I got 2 boys for you. You know who I would
15.
Say.
I thought you was going to say 15 in Denver. The first one I was going to say was Devin, because Devin unstoppable when he gets to a spot.
But I think watching Kawhi, that's one of my favorite things about watching Kawhi is he's not going to be rushed. He's not going to move too quick. He's going to get to wherever he wants to get his shot off, and he's going to let it fly. If your hand is here, your hand is here. He don't even see you. All he sees is the rim, and that shit's going in. Like the 2019 run, you could see him get, and it didn't matter. It was Jimmy, it was Ben, it was Tobias, it was Joel. Like, it didn't matter who was guarding. He was getting to a spot every single time. Against Phoenix, or not, who was it? Yeah, Phoenix in the first round. The first game, when he went crazy, get to a spot every time. Like, Kawhi is perfect. Like, I think Kawhi, Jimmy, and Book are the top 3 that get into their spots, and don't even do that.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, ain't no
other always trying to throw
for 35.
Those three are immaculate. That your boy has too many turnovers of late in those type of situations.
And the thing for KD is he's not necessarily like trying to get to a specific spot. He thinks like KD is 7 foot. He can shoot from anywhere. So it really don't matter if he gets to a certain spot or not.
Exactly.
Splash.
Book is 6'5", so he's getting to the spot that he's comfortable with, no matter if there's a hand in his face or not.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Same with Jimmy.
Like,
KD can do whatever. Like, if KD got the ball, he can hit you with a double cross and shoot it, and he's not gonna see who's right there. If Devin Booker does a double cross, he's gonna see the hand that's right there.
Yep.
That's what makes it different, and why Devin Booker, Kawhi, even PG, Jimmy, they are meticulous in what they do with the ball and coming off of screens and taking their time and being patient with the pump fakes and all that. Like, they are meticulous about getting to their spot and getting the shot that they want every single time.
Yeah.
They get to Jimmy. Yeah, they're exceptional. So it is game 1 with the 6 steals. And this is the issue. Boston. Even let's go back to game 1. I just want to make the reference. They were up by 9 at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for giving up 46 points in the quarter. None. But you know what it comes down to? Identity and coaching.
Yeah, coaching.
Maz may be a phenomenal regular season coach. In fact, because you know what? Not everybody playing hard enough on defense anyway in the regular season. So you can play 3 space, boom. Let's just get to 130 before everybody else gets to 130. And so therefore that identity of what Udoka, it just took those guys a while where they was like 1 game over 500, 2 games over 500. And something clicked in January. And that's because 0-7 took the shit personally. And there was a different mindset. And that actually carried through in the playoffs. They lost. This is what it was. Miami just ran out of time last year in 2022 when Jimmy missed the 3. That's what it was. And Boston just did enough to get through.
That's true out of bounds call. Say it, Joe.
Lots of things in basketball. Lots of things in basketball. Sure. Lots of things in basketball, missed calls, like next plays, etc. They just ran out of time. So if that's your mentality, like Jimmy and Kyle Lowry had that press conference at the end of the game last year, he said, yo, we're confident we're going to be right where we are. We are literally going to be right back in this spot. They didn't care about the regular season. That's what's so this is what's tough for Adam Silver now. all that load management talk and people saying like, yo, you messing with our money. They kind of came back on the players like, listen, y'all been on your BS. We coming to get you. We're taking care of this on the CBA. Woo woo. The issue is why it's very tough for me to understand. Like Miami was 17-24 away from home this year, 44-38. There is no bigger difference in switching or like flipping the switch that I've seen in any sport. And in the playoffs. And I've seen it in any sport. Don't matter what it is. The way they can flip the switch in 22, it's beyond playoff Jimmy. He's saying, well, I don't play any differently. That's bullshit. You get way more aggressive. And also it's a different mentality, like your will to win. Like, bro, it's okay. It's all right. We also, you know what another thing is? Deny it all you want, but we see you with hips don't lie. We see you with Shakira. I ain't seen her at the games before, dog. Just admit that. Just call it what it is. She's out here. She's out here. She's out here. Respect it. We out and we love it. We love you for it, Jimmy. You winning on all angles. We got you, bro. Pause. But brother, the difference is Spo absolutely understood possession by possession to manipulate the Boston Celtics, get them thinking the entire time because they don't play a thinking game of basketball anymore. They played a lot more thinking game of basketball when they had Brad and Udoka. They never played differently, if we're being honest, in terms of where they were as a 55, what were they, 57 wins? They never played any different because it was space and pace. And let's just, once again, get to 130 beforehand. The Miami Heat, let me look at it here. That's my notes that I have here. Fellas, they just didn't get to the times they didn't get to 100 was game 4 and game 5. The Heat getting to 100 every single time after that. And I know, like, hey, both are like, oh, boom, 25 points in NBA. You can that's just guaranteed to get 200. The Celtics took it up another level, and it was because if they hit shots, they play hard on the other end of the basket or the other end of the court.
And that's a very college mentality of looking at it.
So I'm telling you, man.
You see that in college basketball. You don't see that in the NBA.
Boston's the perfect team to get to a Final Four. You know what I'm saying? They could be they could be the 1 seed down to the 16 seed at the 8-minute timeout in the first half, and everybody's like, all right, well, you know what? And then boom, 22-4 run, game's over. Damn, we down 10 in the second round game. Like, man, now we're only down 5 at halftime, but like, it's okay. We'll get over through. The problem is when you go and see another team that's trying to win a championship and actually has something on their shoulder and has that winning pedigree, that's what Philly never had. Think about who their best players are. Embiid, not a winner yet. Not a winner yet by any stretch of the means. And James Harden, unfortunately, in our generation, one of the perennial losers in the playoffs. Your generation and my generation.
Yeah.
The boy was going to the strip clubs in 2012, or we still have them. We still have Durant, Russell, and James Harden who would have created a dynasty on their own. And we wouldn't have had anything, no offense to you, Tariq, but that's what it was, winning mentality.
Oh, no.
The Celtics, crazy. Celtics, well, it was because they was a South Beach. That 2-3-2 really got to them. When you got 3 straight games in South Beach,
notice that playoff format used to piss me off. I was like,
that's why Miami always had a little advantage, that 2-3-2 in the finals until the Spurs got a chip on their shoulder. Tariq knows what I'm talking about. 2012, 2013, then 2014. It was just because the Spurs, what they did, they ran out of time. The Heat last year ran out of time. There are no more games to play, or else they would have done it. And this is what they said at the end of Game 6. We ran out of time, and we made one mistake. Spoelstra said the only way that ball went, the only way that could hurt us, if that ball going in and out, which he did, Marcus Smart, and going on the other side to go in the front of the rim, the game's over. Yeah. It literally went right to where Derek was running to. I don't blame Strus. Forget a blockout. That ain't it. Even you don't need to be in the blockout situation. He was so many steps behind chasing Derek. That was the issue. But he did exactly what he was supposed to do of what the coach told him. Don't let zero beat us. Don't let zero beat us. That's why Jimmy and Spoelstra went on the podium and they said, "We are fine. We know we've been in this position before, and they aren't scared of going into Boston." That's another thing.
I love it, man. I love it. I love this.
It was great. It was great. It was perfect. Pat Riley, Alonzo, and that's the difference. And that's why I wanted to bring it back to that's the difference between Heat culture. You could be an 8 seed. You could be a 1 seed. You could be a 6 seed. I swear it was a 6, wasn't it, Tariq?
Oh, last year?
In the bubble?
Last year?
Or were y'all in the bubble?
In the bubble?
Yeah.
In the bubble.
Was it a 6?
I think they were 6. I know they were a lower seed.
I think we were 4.
Yeah, they
a 4? Were you a 4 because you beat was Milwaukee a 1?
Was it a 4-5 matchup?
No. We were
y'all beat the Pacers in the 4-5.
Indiana first round.
Yeah.
And then we played Milwaukee second round and then Boston.
Because of the free throws.
Because Philly was the 2-3.
And Boston beat.
Yeah. Because I think Philly played Toronto, right?
No, Philly was
played Toronto.
Toronto played Brooklyn.
Philly was the 6, I think. And Boston beat Philly that first round. They swept them in the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
And then Boston played Toronto. So that's why I thought it was
And
then it was a 3-4.
Yeah.
Here they are again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going to happen next year because I don't know what the teams are going to look like. And Kyle Lowry, like, the game was lost. It was the big swing. Derek White missed a free throw, so we cut it to 7, right? If he made both, cuts to 6. Miami comes down, they miss a shot. Boston is running the offense through Derek White in the mid to late third quarter for like the last 7 minutes.
Yeah.
My whole problem with that is Joe, you ain't done that all year, dog. You ain't done that all year. So either you don't have another go-to, like we can't create something to get Jalen just like a little pin up. What they didn't do was take advantage of anything in the post. And that's when I knew that things may have been cooked with Joe Maz. You saw Marcus Smart. They did a lot of good things in the post with him. Got a couple and ones, or just even slowed the game down.
Yeah.
And then the zone, when Spo realizes like can't do it against man-to-man, but make them think on the zone, they're going to be kind of mad at themselves that they got these threes. They're going to be rushing threes. They think they got to shoot all the threes instead of drive and finish in. Miami came down, missed a shot. Derek White, he had somebody fly by him. He took a pump fake, one dribble right, could have cut it to 4. And I'm like, okay, if they they just never got under that 7-6, 8-7-6, that danger zone in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. It's just once you get it down to that 4, that 3, they never did.
A big reason for that, though, is Spo actually calling timeouts.
Did you know what I'm saying here? That's what I'm talking about culture.
That's a thing that used to bother me because Spo would even call timeouts when we were on a run. And that shit would bother me because I'm like, if we're on a run, don't call a timeout because they scored 2 points. But as I started to understand it, I'm like, all right, if we go on a run and the team responds with 5 straight points, he's going to call a timeout before they get a rhythm and figure out, we're beating them doing this.
Yes, sir.
So that he can stop and say, hey, this is what they're doing against us right now. Let's nip that in the bud here. So when they come back out and try to run it again, we stop it. And now they got to figure out something else to beat us.
Yes.
And Missoula was not doing it.
At all.
Missoula would see a 12-0 run, and he was just like, y'all got to figure it out. I'm holding on to my timeouts for the end of the game. You can't hold them. You can't use them if you're down by 20 in the fourth quarter. Like you got to manage the game as it goes along, not just for the fourth quarter. And then what game was it where he used his challenge in the first quarter?
That was wild. Couldn't believe it.
And I was like, there's no way in a series like this you're using it in the first quarter for a play that's not going to matter. And I think it saved maybe 1 point. Like it was crazy.
Brad's got to get Frank. If Frank Vogel does not get a job in this window, Brad's got to get Frank Vogel to come be Missoula's head assistant. 1, to be the defensive coordinator, and 2, to be the bench coach. Just understanding situations, timeouts.
You got to call a timeout here.
Championship pedigree, etc. Understand. Frank Vogel would be the perfect because he was a scapegoat for really no reason, just because of the bad roster construction in Los Angeles. That was ridiculous. But this ain't the first time, and Tariq will tell you, say the first time LeBron going into somebody's office or going through his agent was like, "Yo, let's try to get rid of the coach." Did that to Spo, and what did Spo did? He flipped it on him.
I'd rather
Flipped
say
it on.
hell no.
Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh, buddy, been grooming for a minute." I thought Mr. Martin may have doubled. Looked kind of funny at the end of the third when he dribbled kind of around the rim, but that was the biggest thing. That was down 7, and Martin hit 2 straight threes right there. Got it back to 13. Boston then cut it to, I think it was 9 at the beginning of the start of the fourth. I think it was 9. All of a sudden, it was up to 16, 18. And that's what it is. You can go on runs against teams who don't have identities.
Yeah.
And Boston's identity is space and pace. And that ain't how you win playoffs games against some dudes who have been through the grind before. Yeah. Miami's seen literally every situation. They went up against Bron in the bubble. You know what I mean? Like that, they're not worried about. They've gone against Giannis a couple times. Jimmy has a winning record against Giannis in the playoffs. I
was gonna say we're 2-1 now.
It's crazy. That's their kryptonite.
Winning record against Tatum now in the playoffs.
Yep. That's what matters. And that's what's like, okay, have your first team all NBAs. Come see me April through June. And that's what Jimmy does. And it's impressive. Oh, he said, all my guys are going to play well, even though your boy Adebayo didn't play too well this past game.
Offensively. Defensively and playmaking wise, he was fantastic this series and in the past series.
Won't be enough.
Offensively, he was not aggressive enough, and he wasn't making shots that he would normally make. I'll give y'all that. But defensively, the Celtics shot like sub 25% against him when he was contesting shots. And he had, I think in that game, he had at least, 9 screen assists with his like 7, 6, 7, however many assists he had. Like, Bam brings so much more to the court than just, oh, he's got to go out and give us 20 and 10. Because I would rather him bring what he brings defensively and as a playmaker. Not saying that I don't want him to bring what he brings offensively because we need it. But I would rather him bring that than only the offense. Because if he brings only the offense, we don't win.
But that's a given, though.
If he's only getting 30 and he's not boxing out and getting rebounds, he's not pushing the pace when we need him to, getting to the free throw line when we need him to. Like, there's the small things that Bam does that people aren't paying attention to. And it's like, all right, he missed that shot that he should have made. He should have dunked that. Like, there was a play last night where he should have dunked on. I think it was Derek White. And he, like, went for the layup, and it rimmed out. And then somebody in Buffalo Wild Wings said that Rudy Gobert was a better offensive player than Adebayo. What? And I almost started fighting. I legitimately almost started fighting. Because I was like, come on, bro. See, this is what I'm talking about. A dude misses one layup, and y'all start – and they were Heat fans. A dude misses one layup, and it's, trade Bam. Bam does more on a court than 98% of centers in the league. And I would say maybe 99%. Because what he does on the court defensively, playmaking, scoring, setting the tone, Embiid does not do. And if he did, they would win more playoff series. I'll give you Jokic because his team is in the finals. But other than that, I don't see a center that does exactly what he does on the court and then impacts the game the way he does without killing the box score. Like, oh, he had 39 and 16 tonight. That's fine. That's not going to be Bam. That's never going to be Bam. Bam is not giving you 39 and 16. He did give us a 30 ball last year against Boston, but that's not going to happen all the time. And people kind of expect Bam to, like, oh, he's got to take this huge leap offensively. Like, if y'all saw this man in college, and like he had some game in high school, but it wasn't like he was going crazy offensively. And in college, he was strictly a roll, lob threat, like put back dunk. And then once we got to the league, he was kind of the same thing. And then they started to use him in playmaking, like dribble handoff, that type of thing. Yeah, they started
the USA camps once you start like playing that, with some different dudes.
And he got a mid-range. Then you're like, okay, he's got more to his game. But then once people saw, oh, he can shoot the mid-range. Well, he needs to step out and shoot the 3. Golly, bro. He not even hitting the mid range at a crazy efficient rate yet, and y'all want him to shoot threes. Like that don't even make sense. And this is 2 years ago they wanted him to shoot the three. I'm like, come on, man. Like, not everybody has to step out and shoot the three. I would rather him do what he does and be effective than step out to the 3-point line like a Drummond or a Vucevic or a Brook Lopez and strictly be on the 3-point line all game.
Yeah.
Because it changes your or Al Horford, because it changes their whole perspective. Once you become a spot shooter as a center, that's all you are on offense.
Yeah.
And I know Spo's not dumb enough to do that, but that's what he would become.
Yeah.
Heard it. So
I've seen it happen a lot of times.
I know y'all trying to wrap up with the with this past series. Do y'all think, actually, let's take the Heat angle here. Y'all gonna play hero?
I think they'll try. I think they'll.
Do you want to play him?
Do
you like the mode right now? Do you like? Do you just?
I want to play him. I personally do not. I love Tyler. Tyler's one of my favorite players in the league. One of my favorite players on the squad. Personally, I do not. The way Duncan is playing right now, Strus isn't playing fantastic, but he's hitting shots when we need him to. He's playing really good defense. And I know people are going to laugh at that, but Strus is playing really good defense doesn't mean you're locking someone down. It means you're giving full maximum effort on defense. And Strus has done that the entire playoff. And I'm not saying Tyler won't do that, but he doesn't have the conditioning to stay with the guys that have been playing at this high of a level. You can't expect him to come in and try to check a Jamal Murray on a switch, check a KCP on a switch, a Michael Porter Jr. on a switch, a Jokic on a switch. Like, that's a lot to ask for a guy that hasn't played since April. And by the time he plays, it'll be what, June 6th, 7th, 8th? Like, that's a lot to ask for a guy who's been sitting on the bench for 2 months, watching dudes play at the highest level with the highest of intensity, and expect him to come in and contribute in a way that we need him to, or that you would expect him to, with him being on the court. And it's kind of the same thing that we had to go through last year. It's like, do you put him on the court? You try to put him on the court, make him at least a decoy, and make him somebody that they got to worry about, but he couldn't. He was hampered by his hamstring. Like, it was clear. And he was targeted. He was targeted before the injury. He was definitely targeted after injury.
Yeah.
So I can see why they would want to do it, but I think it depends on how game 1 and 2 go. If we're tied 1-1 coming back to Miami, I think we let it ride and see what happens. We're down 0-2, we throw in Tyler, see what he can do, see if we can get a spark from him. And a spark doesn't mean he got to come off and give us 15. He can come out and give us 8. And just him getting 2 threes and a layup gets the rest of the team pumped up, and now we find our rhythm again. Something like that. Like, but I don't want him to come in. Duncan doesn't play at all. Strus doesn't play as many minutes. But I think even if he does play in game 3, he would only play like 10 to 12 minutes. But those are 10 to 12 minutes that Duncan has been playing, and has been playing really well. So it's kind of like you just got to gauge how the series is going. If Duncan is playing well and Strus is playing well, Gabe Vincent's playing well, and Kyle Lowry's playing well, if you have 4 backcourt players playing well, there's kind of no reason to bring them in. Because we're only playing, the 7-8 man rotation at this point. Like, Highsmith will come in every now and then in the series, maybe Kevin Love for some rebounding, but other than that, we're not bringing in a ton of players off the bench. So it really, depending on how the first 2 games go, I don't think it makes a ton of sense to bring in Tyler.
Well, I'm just as we were packing up Boston, as everybody been packing me up today. Photoshop is a motherfucker. I'm always be behind St. Louis, with my boys, Brad B. Elite. I don't know whether they should be breaking up the 2 Jays, 25 and 26 years old. I don't know. It depends on who I see who's coming in to coach as the bench assistant, because I think it's kind of tough to fire Mazzulla now. Maybe Brad should be a little bit more ruthless, and then he kind of thinks of, but he and Vogel are boys. You don't bring back Doc. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
No.
I think somebody like Monty would help.
Absolutely not. But
Dude,
Monty
I think somebody like Monty would help.
Jason loves Monty from the Olympics run, and him and Jalen both were with when Monty on the Olympics when Pop had the squad there.
Yeah.
But does Monty take another year? If you know that Monty can come in, you know the bench is going to be right. Because Monty needs some late game work too, though. If we keep it in the butt, he needs some late game management help too. So that could be something he can work for. I'm leaning towards don't break them up now. The new CBA stuff is about to kick in. Certain stuff of it kicks in this year, then certain stuff over the next couple, whatever. You didn't have a healthy Brogdon, who you traded for, which helped your team do well in the regular season. Oh, yeah. The tricep situation.
He was great against Philly. He shot over 53%.
Then he caught that injury. Yeah, he was great.
And his elbow injury hampered him. I mean, he wasn't able to shoot anything. Like
they don't beat Philly.
When they said he was playing, I was like, oh, thank God. Like he's gonna be out there trying to shoot some over threes and he can't.
Those are broke.
It's just it is what it is. Like if you're gonna play, we're gonna have to make you shoot. Like you're gonna have to make us pay for leaving you out of.
Horford's defense is getting worse. Rob Williams actually gave you some really, really good minutes despite not playing a lot in the regular season. There's a lot to still like about them. Lots to like about them. However, there's something, I don't know what it is. There's just something missing, and maybe it is just purely identity. The difference between if you switch Spoelstra and Missoula, first of all, I think the Heat are getting even out of the play-in, number one. Maybe just because of Jimmy is different. But if Spo actually got the coach of this Boston team, first of all, I think they definitely would have beaten Golden State last year. I truly believe that. That's because of Ime, in terms of just finding out different ways to attack Golden State. But we never got to see Spo really have a squad that go against Kerr. I would have loved to see that. We almost did. We almost did. Spo is the perfect coach for this type of situation with a team. That's another thing people need to understand. The Heat have more finals experience than Denver, and the finals are different. And the finals are a different breed.
Yeah, they got Nikola, they got Larry, they got Butler, they got Udonis Haslam.
Bam.
People trip.
Duncan.
Udonis has been there the whole time.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be prisoner of the moment.
Guys, the wisdom.
But I like the coaching advantage for Miami. I like the pedigree. And what I mean by that is just like an understanding of what they are. The Nuggets are, we've seen the Heat still win with Jimmy Butler hurt. The Nuggets are a little tweak from Nikola Jokic away from maybe getting swept. Because once again, Miami is scared on going on the road. They not.
No.
They not. Look what they did.
They're not talking about altitude like LeBron was. Like, the altitude is gonna be a problem. That's not some shit you should be saying before a series.
Not with the Heat culture.
To say that, and for LeBron to say that is wow.
They got weigh-ins and measurements. Pause. I think it's twice a month, ain't it, Tariq? That's a Heat culture thing. They got weigh-ins and whatnot, and measurements, and they doing your such. You know what I'm saying? So
and Shaq hated that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if he wanted to win a championship, he would have to get right.
I said Shaq just wanted to hoop. Shaq did not want to do the extra work.
I mean, Deion Waiters, we suspended him because he didn't come in. He didn't come in the training camp in shape.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't come in shape, you don't play.
Yeah,
like you're not touching the floor. You only get to practice.
Y'all have enough to get minimum 2 games. I truly believe that. I think definitely get 2 games. Also, Tariq, congratulations because you did right. Obviously, the Multiplicity website. You called Heat in 7. You said, I'm done betting against my boys. We're just going to roll the dice. There it was. Heat in 7. So, congrats on that.
I think I definitely took us against the Heat, against the Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't against the Bucks. Against the Bucks, I think I said Bucks and 5. Or Bucks and 6, like one of the two.
But you called exactly 7 in the series.
Yeah, I did.
And also a little redemption story, so. There you go.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Bryce, I'll let you. I know you about to do the whatever you need on finals preview. I'm ready if you need a pick, whatever.
Yeah. So before we get to the finals preview, one last thing about this series, right? I made a tweet that said this might be more than getting swept. You said nah.
I did say nah.
Let's have that discussion. I said we'll discuss. So let's have that discussion. So I guess I'll start why I think this is worse than getting swept, right? I think because of the buildup that they had. I mean, they won game 4, won game 5, won game 6 because it bounced the right way. Derek White was there, tipped it in perfectly. You know, it's been in their favor. The luck has been on their side. No pun intended. And notice the Celtics, a lot of clovers, leprechauns, horseshoes, whatever, lucky stuff. All that. I said in my video, ain't that much luck in the world. And for them to lose the game 7 the way they lost, like, I don't know. I had a discussion with my pops a long time ago. And it's like, I'd rather lose at the end of the game to get blown out. Like, I'd rather lose on a buzzer beater, like in a close game, like high stakes, whatever. Like, if it's playoffs, March Madness, whatever. I'd rather lose at the end of the game, like close game, whatever. I'd rather lose a close game to lose a blowout in like same stakes. Because a blowout is like, game, but we getting embarrassed on national television or like just wherever the crowd, we just getting embarrassed. Didn't come to play, whatever. But if we get ball don't go our way and we lose in the last couple possessions, we just lose. Just didn't fall our way. We gave it our all though. But I just say all that to say because of the hype built up for the Celtics and how the media started thinking, oh, what if they pull this off? This will be the biggest thing ever. It's never been done. This, that, and that. And if we're going to lose in a blowout, I think that's worse than getting swept.
The reason why I said nah is because the legacy conversation for Jimmy definitely goes to a new height. But for Jason and Jalen getting swept, you got to go looking for answers at that time. Yeah. Losing in game 7, I'm not saying you got to blame it on Jason's ankle. I mean, the Heat just, once again, they say they ran out of time in 2022. There are no more games left. They literally had the same comeback as they did in game 6, 2023 at the crib. And then they say, oh, we got 48 more minutes on the clock. Now, there's a difference. Boston didn't come out 48 minutes like, yo, all that talk about don't let us get one. They let you get 3.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to finish the job.
Mark said it again.
And then you go get the
one.
They'll go get that one. Don't let us get one. They let you get 3. They let you get 3. Now you got to go take care of the one for you.
At home.
And 7 didn't do his thing, didn't do his job. So CD guarded, all that guarding, Mystique, all that. First of all, it's a whole new garden. This ain't championship way new garden. So that's where I'm at with it, with the Heat. And the only reason why I said nah is because you have to have wholesale changes at that. And for a whole week, it would have been building up. Now you only got 2 days for talking is to be talking about stuff. And Mike Malone, you see Mike Malone, he's like, well, y'all keep talking about the Lakers. Oh, hey, we swept the Lakers.
Yeah.
Now that's what in itself we had that innuendo stuff. This is what I have a problem with LeBron. He wanted all the attention on himself versus the attention on our team. So all that to be said, that's the only reason why I said nah, is because at that point, Brad needs to do all wholesale changes. Shoot, got to figure out the situation with Horford, all of that. You would have a lot more questions than you did had you got swept.
Yeah.
And I think that's also
there's a final start regardless. June 1st, no matter. It's like whatever the first Thursday in June, that's when the finals will start.
I also think it hurts them for bringing the effort that they brought from game 4 to 6 and saying, oh, well, y'all might as well have just lost in game 4 so you didn't have to go through losing in game 7. It's like, nah, because you never know what happens, you know?
That's
You
right.
like instead of Tatum rolling an ankle, maybe it's Jimmy, maybe it's somebody else. Like, and that's not saying like that's obviously not hoping for it on anybody, but you never know what happens in a game when you go into it and it's an even playing field. You never know what happens. So the roles could have been reversed. Boston could have gone in there, won the game, and then it would have been on Miami. Like, how did you let them come back that way? Boston came, they were down 3-0, and everybody said they had quit in game 3. They came out
Yep.
in game 4 on the road and won a big game that they needed to win, facing elimination, facing a sweep. And then game 5, they blew them out at home, and then came back game 6, and the Derek White tip in, and then you get to a game 7. And I think at that point you run out of energy because you have to exert so much energy game 4 through 6 because if you lose, you're done.
Yep.
So you have to exert a maximum amount of energy each game to get to the next game. Once you get to a game 7, it's like, damn, do we still have the energy that we had for the past 3 games? And that's not saying in the playoffs you don't give maximum energy every game, but there's a difference between game 2 and 3 and an elimination game. Because when your back is against the wall, and if you lose, you go home or you stay home.
Right.
It's a way different ballgame. So I think if you say they were better off getting swept, it's worse to lose in 7. I think it discredits the effort that they brought from game 4 to 6. Because
Long off season for
if
the
they would have just
Celtics.
rolled over, and lost game 4 in Miami, like ML said, it would have been a lot of conversations about Tatum, Brown, Smart, Brogdon, Derek White, like Missoula, like and that's just national. That ain't even Boston.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
forget about Boston's fans and their media.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would have been ridiculous. I'm sure
Yep.
it was ridiculous today.
Yeah.
Even them losing a game 7. So can you imagine what it would have been like? All the things that Jaylen Brown has already been told, Marcus Smart has already been said, like has already had said to him. If they get swept and they're coming back to Boston after losing 4-0 to an 8 seed, like that would have been rough.
Yeah. Also, I have this on my mind. Say if Boston did complete it, how much of a meltdown would we have? Like, how being that Miami's AC, how bad would we have looked at Miami and be like, this is like a total meltdown? Like, how would we have looked at Miami had they pulled this off? Is what
It
I'm
was for
curious.
sure a meltdown. It was for sure a meltdown, no matter if you're 8 seed or what, because all you have to do is win one. And this isn't a team full of young guys, you know?
That's
This is a team full of Jimmy, who is what? He's 30 plus now. Bam is what, 5-6 years in the league. Yeah. Strus has been playing with us for 3 years. Gabe Vince has played with us for 3 years. Caleb Martin's been with us for the last 2. Kevin Love's been in this league. Kyle Lowry's been in this league.
10 plus years.
All these players that have been on the team, that have been in these situations, you can't say, oh, they were just young. It would be different if the Kings went up 3-0 and the Warriors came back and won 4 straight. It'd be different if OKC was up 3-0 and a veteran team came back and won 4 in a row. Because it is difficult to win elimination games. It is difficult to send somebody home. So when a veteran team, like a LeBron-led team or a Steph Curry-led team or a KD-led team, it's like, no, we're not going home. Or a Kawhi-led team, it's like, no, we're not going home. Those young guys with each loss, their confidence starts to dwindle. But when you have a team like Miami, who is veterans, they've played together for the last couple of seasons, it's been the same, nothing changes. They don't change the way they go about anything, no matter who they're playing, no matter what the situation is. They're the same way. So it still would have been a huge meltdown if they lose in 7 after being up 3-0, whether or not they were 8 seed, because you can't get to this point and say, hey, we were 8 seed we were just playing with house money. Like, nah, no. You can't beat Milwaukee in the first round. Beat the Knicks in the 6 or was it 5? 6? I think it was 6. You can't beat New York in 6 and then say,
6.
hey,
Yep. It went 5.
Yeah.
It literally went 5, 6, 7 for Miami.
Yeah. And you can't
5, 6,
say
7.
you can't turn around and say, oh, well, we were just playing with house money. We wasn't supposed to win anyway. We wasn't even supposed to be here. Jimmy's not gonna say that shit. Bam's not gonna say that. That's a Heat team. The Heat team is never gonna say that. You're never gonna hear them be like, "Oh, we should."
I respect
like,
it.
yeah, it would have been a huge
no ball, and they don't make excuses for the nonsense. They just play basketball. There's no nonsense around them. They're dogs. They're gritty. They going.
The dogs and dig count.
I love them. I like it. I like the energy.
In y'all's, once again, in y'all generation, to respect y'all, Heat are the best organization in the East since in y'all generation for your time.
I would say so, yeah.
Top to bottom, they've done it the right way. They built it the right way. Part of that is once again Pat Riley pedigree. 5 as a coach for LA, 1 with Miami, so that's 6. I think he won 1 as a player with LA, so that's 7.
Or LA. I was thinking.
And then as an executive, 12, 13. Bro, we're almost talking two hands full.
2 hands. Yeah.
I think we at 8. And that's not counting all finals trips. So he's made finals trips. That may be close to 14.
You got what, 2011?
14. What, 2011, 12, 13, 14. All 4 of those he made it to. And then we're not counting the ones that the Lakers lost to Boston. And the ones they lost. It was Boston. Yeah, it was a Boston for him. Mm-hmm. He never lost to the Sixers because that's kind of why they hired him on. Mm-hmm. A lot of wars that they've been through. And if you wanted somebody in kind of your image who really cares about winning more than anything, it's 22. They are the best Eastern Conference organization in y'all's generation.
Oh, for sure. 100%. Like, you want to know how to win? I got the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And people gonna make their jokes. People, well, he coached this, he coached this. They be on that bullshit. They just saying shit. That's cool.
That shit is true.
But your team be getting swept, losing their 5 every season. And you, we in the lottery again, and motherfuckers can't draft. You got teams like the Bulls, the Knicks, the Pistons, the fucking Cavs. Not the Cavs this year, but like in the past, like been in the lottery every single season and can't make a good fucking pick. You have a top 5 pick every year and you miss every fucking year. What's that culture? What is that? If we have a top 5 pick, we're not missing. We get undrafted guys, turn them into fucking actual players in the league. And people like, nah, anybody could have found them. But you didn't find them. That's the thing. Like when we found Whiteside got cut by 7 other teams before we got him.
Yep.
The Lakers had him that season and cut him. Dion Waiters had been pushed by everybody. Fucking Udonis, undrafted, wasn't drafted. Came in, was a starter on a championship team.
Yep.
Was a key part of that championship team. People don't remember that shit because D-Wade averaged 35. Shaq was on the team. We still had Jason Williams. We had Gary Payton. We still had Alonzo Mourning. We had Antoine Walker. We had James Posey. Udonis was probably the 3rd most important player on that roster on those playoff runs. Because who was guarding Dirk? UD. Udonis Haslam in 2006 was guarding Dirk Nowitzki. It wasn't Shaq.
Yes,
they threw Antoine Walker on him some. But it wasn't like Antoine Walker was going to lock him down. And I'm not saying Udonis did. But Udonis, at that age, was making anybody work for everything that they were getting. By 2012, 2013, it was a different Udonis. But 2006 to 2010, Udonis Haslam, you cannot tell me that dude wasn't going 100% every single game, no matter who was on the other side. It did not matter.
Yeah, that's facts.
And he was riding for his players, his teammates, every time.
Every time.
It didn't matter if they were in the wrong or not. He was riding for his teammates every time.
Yep.
But people want, oh no, ship him out. Let him go somewhere else or make him retire. No. That's another thing. People are begging for Memphis. People are begging for Memphis to get a vet. But they want us to ship ours away. That literally makes no sense. That literally makes zero sense. Like, oh, y'all need somebody like a Melo. So if Melo's just sitting on the bench, how long before y'all say he just got to retire because he's just sitting on the bench?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they ran.
But Udonis do it. But Udonis do it, and it's like, no, fuck him, bro. He not doing shit on the bench. He just sitting there. Y'all don't know basketball. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all just want to run with the Twitter narrative because it's funny. That's fine.
Oh, Tariq in his bag. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, he is, man. He is. He ready. He ready.
I'm just saying,
he ready,
man.
And he deserves it, man. Talk your shit.
I'm just tired of the same types of fans. It's not like Warriors or Celtics or Spurs fans that are like, oh, he culture ain't shit. It's Knicks fans. It's Pistons fans. It's Bulls fans. Like, your team hasn't been good since the fucking 90s. What are you talking about? And you were born in 2005, so you didn't see it. You don't even know what it's like to win a series, damn near. When's the last time Detroit won a playoff series?
Hey, like I said, talk your shit.
When's the last time the Knicks went to a conference finals? I couldn't tell you.
99?
99. I was thinking 99.
That's crazy. That's the year
99.
Yeah,
I'm 24.
They're the last AC to make it to the finals, which we're about to get into.
I'm 24. That's the last time they made it to the. I was born the last time they made it to the conference finals. And y'all trying to talk to me about culture in New York? Stop it instantly. Instantly stop right now. Like, what are we talking about? Literally, like, I don't understand it. I really don't. And I'm not one to be like, oh, he coached this, he coached that, he coached that. But it's the same kind of people that be saying, like, oh, no, that shit's not real. They be bullshitting. They just be making shit up. What do they have to make shit up for? Every player that comes in there gets better. And then when they go to another fucking team, they fall off.
Hassan Whiteside.
Justice Winslow, Josh Richardson has gone from team to team since then.
Yeah.
Josh McRoberts had a good season with us. Like, you can look at the roster. Rodney McGruder, Wayne Ellington. Like, these players had actual roles on our team. They go to other teams and they're the 12th man. Kendrick Nunn literally got paid because of what he did for us.
Oh my
God. Did not play because of a bone bruise.
Kendrick Nunn was running around like he was pot.
Deion Waiters.
We
literally had that man thinking that he was fucking Kyrie Irving. And we was hyping him up like he was.
Oh, D Waiters.
Like, I can't do it, bro. I cannot let people just say shit without having some type of actual, like, response that makes sense without them just saying, no, they just be bullshit.
They don't know ball.
I'm just tired of hearing that shit. Like, if you tired of seeing us win, just say that. But you can't say, oh, the organization ain't shit. They just be saying shit. They just be doing random shit that, like, they try to run it like a high school. What? What are you talking about?
They can't really say nothing, bro, because, like, look, you guys got to a championship, won a championship, right? D-Wade was there. Like, that's for Bron. Then y'all did y'all winning with Bron. But then y'all got back after Bron.
Yeah.
Y'all got back to twice.
We didn't even take long to get back. We went to the playoffs that year.
The finals.
We went to the playoffs that year after Bron.
Yeah, but just the finals makes a difference.
He out of the last 4 years.
Yeah, the finals put you on a different sphere. That's why it's so impressive, man. All you gotta do is just tip the cap. It's not bad Boston to me at the end of the day because it's different. Like, once again, if we're being honest, the shit is 7-7. Actually, it's 11-9. That's how I feel about it. The Boston Miami shit. It is 20 games that they played, and right now Miami is the edge when it comes to deciding who represents the East in the NBA Finals. That's how I see it with this group of folks, with the core being Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, and we'll throw Kyle's only there for the last 14 of it. The last 14 games. But if we're just talking like, take the bubble out of it for those people who dismiss it, forget it. Fine, okay, no problem. They're 7-7, man. They're 7-7. It's not about bad Boston. It is about just the winning organization, having a winning player. And also, unfortunately, I'm going to be critical of my man real quick. Jason is statistically better than Jimmy has ever been, ever, if we're talking about season per season. Mm-hmm. If you go around the league and you did a poll, who's the best leader in the Eastern Conference? It is Jimmy Butler without question. And that's no offense to Giannis because Jimmy has packed him up. That's no offense to Embiid. Oh, guys, I can't do it by myself. James and we can't do it. Like, nobody wants to hear that shit. Shut the fuck up. You an MVP, dog. Bro. You in a different stratosphere. Say that bullshit. You know who gonna tell you to say that bullshit? Nick Nurse. He don't play.
Oh, that Embiid voice is crazy.
You don't care. He's like, it takes 5. We just can't do it to me and James. Okay, we got you.
Neither of y'all did it. This was the craziest part.
Take your big ass and get into Rihanna's DMs and just stay over there. We good. Just chill. Just chill. So, back to y'all. Let's focus. Miami, y'all have set the bar. Jimmy's a better leader than all them other first team, second team, third team, all NBA dudes from the East. Shit don't matter come April to June. This is literally, it's proof. My notes are telling me it's proof. An 8 seed. It ain't Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Chris Childs, like them dudes. It's a different type of squad. They actually think they're better than they were last year. They also just told you WDGAF. We didn't give a during October from basically Halloween up until Easter. We good. If we win a few, good. Let's just do enough. Because you notice what they did, Tariq. Y'all were the 11. Y'all got down to like the 10. Y'all got down to like the 10. And then they was like, we got to kind of get going a little bit. We got to get going a little bit. And they turned it on.
They just needed to get there. That's all. They just needed to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, baby.
Let's go ahead and transition. We got in 2023 NBA Finals starting this Thursday. Denver Nuggets out of the Western Conference up against the Miami Heat. 1 against 8. No, not 1 against 8. Not 1 against 8. 2 against 8. First time since 99 we had an 8 seed.
Denver's 1.
Wait, Denver is 1. Denver is 1. Yeah. Denver is 1. So yeah, because Memphis and then I was all right. So yeah, 1 against 8. Got first 8 seed since 99. Since the 99 Knicks make it to the finals, and we got Denver first time in the finals ever. Yeah, it's crazy, man. What are you guys' first thoughts going into this matchup?
I'm curious about a few things, especially in terms of our defense. I think our offense will be fine. I don't think Denver's a bad defensive team, but I think we can get the shot. We can still get the looks that we want. I think we've played a very good Milwaukee defensive. I think we played 3 very good defensive teams to get to this point. Milwaukee, having Giannis and Brook Lopez, 2 All-NBA defenders, 3 All-NBA defenders. They had Drew too, so 3 All-NBA defenders. Chris Middleton is no slouch on the defensive end. New York is a very good defensive team. They slow down the game. They make it ugly. And Boston, when they want to sit down in a chair and play defense, they can. Now I think Denver showed that their defense can take it up a notch against the Lakers. They were able to make defensive stops when they needed to. You don't necessarily have to stop teams for an entire game or an entire quarter, but if you can get a stretch in the fourth quarter where you can get consecutive stops, where you get 5, 6, 7 stops in a row, you can go get 4 buckets in a row. Then after that, it's smooth sailing. So I'm wondering how we try to contain Jokic. How quickly do we send doubles? I think if you wait a little bit and try to send the double as he's going to make his move, it can confuse him a little bit. But he's a incredibly intelligent player, so he's gonna figure out whatever we're trying to do every time Spo throws something out. This series is basically going to be Spo versus Jokic.
I like that.
It's going to be how many adjustments can Spo make to challenge Jokic mentally.
Yeah.
I think we can work him physically. I think the Lakers tried to, but they didn't press the issue of trying to test him. Because while I think he played good defense against Anthony Davis and in spurts against LA, I think we can find ways to get him into space and take advantage of that because we have so many perimeter-oriented players, and even Bam can stretch out the floor and try to make a play, whether it be make a play for somebody else or make a play by going by him. And if we can get him in foul trouble, they're bringing in Jeff Green. They're bringing in the Thomas Bryant. Advantage Miami. Now, and the negative effect to that would be if Bam gets in any foul trouble, we're bringing in Kevin Love, we're bringing in Zeller, we're bringing in Hayward Highsmith. Like, it gets ugly after that. So how are we going to navigate how long we keep Bam on him? How aggressive can Bam be without drawing fouls? If we run a zone, what kind of zone are we going to run? Because you can't just run a zone like a regular zone against Jokic. He's going to figure that shit out. So you have to have some type of variation in when do you run. So you can run, man, like Spo likes to run like, all right, say one quarter we'll do man, next quarter we do zone. Or maybe we'll do man for 8 minutes, zone for the last 4 minutes of the quarter. So they're like, oh shit, the last 4 minutes of a quarter, they can't figure it out. And then you got to switch it up. You go back to man to start the quarter, and then you do it. You vary the way that you get into the zone. The main part is how we're going to guard Jokic. When are the double teams coming? And obviously Denver's shooting. Is KCP going to stay as hot as he was in the LA series? Because he was lighting them up. MPJ he's been good, but he's been inconsistent with the shot. He's gonna have to work this series because he's not gonna be able to sit on Austin Reeves and wait and see when he's got to make a defensive stop. But he's gonna have to move because there's a lot of motion that goes on in the Heat offense. He's gonna have to figure out how to navigate that. He's still gonna have to go rebound like he did in the last series. And then obviously, not only are we trying to figure out how to contain Jokic, you got to figure out how to contain Jamal Murray. Because if he's giving you 30 and you're letting Nikola Jokic give you triple doubles, you unless Jimmy's giving us 30 and the rest of the team is going crazy, it's going to be ugly. So it's either got to be one or the other.
Yeah.
If we're going to focus on Jokic and try to play one-on-one with Jamal, make him beat us, or take away Jamal and make Jokic just, hey, if you want to cook, cook. But we're not going to let you get the ball up to anybody else. But it's going to be very interesting to see how it changes because we had to play a seventh game. We had to go all the way until Sunday or Monday night. So now we travel to Denver and we've got 2 days to figure out what we want to do in game one. And we've won all of our game one so far. So if we can still game one, because they may have some rust from having a week and a half off.
Mm-hmm.
If we can take advantage of that, get game one, and figure out what we're going to do as the series goes on, it changes a lot.
What's the number then, brother? You gotta give it to us, Paul.
Number. I'm going Heat at 7, man. Heat at 7.
Okay. I like it.
Heat at 7.
I like it.
I like it. It'll be a fun series, entertaining series. Despite what everybody's thinking or saying, everybody's like, "Oh, we don't want to see a Heat. So we don't want to see a Heat Nugget series. That's gonna be boring."
Not real hoop fans. Not real hoop fans.
Not real hoop fans, bro. No.
Not real hoop fans.
I did that, and I wrote down that was my fourth. Was my fourth least that I wanted to see because I thought it would be nice, just because once again, St. Louis. But that don't mean that it wouldn't be. It's not gonna be good basketball just because it's my fourth least that I wanted. That don't mean it wouldn't be good basketball.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I would have been cool with the Lakers Heat repeat, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody's watching this. It's like nobody wants to see these two teams.
My only thing is that, like, I understood, like, there's a possibility of Miami going to beat Boston. I really felt that. I actually had the Heat Lakers rematch out of the bubble higher than any Nugget series, and that's because I already knew Pat, the Godfather, was going to be in there with Spo, cutting up film, watching everything. Because Pat still get that sour taste in his mouth when Bron was like, I'm out of here.
Got on that jet.
Yeah, I mean, he took that thing personal. He told him, he goes, he's like, you want to see how you are when the lights are on. When he said, yo, you running from the grind, Bron, 2-3. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just wanted to drop that in real quick.
Yeah, for sure. But no, it'll be interesting to see the matchups. It'll be interesting to see how they play Jokic, like Tariq mentioned. Be interesting to see, they do got the guard play in Denver with how Jamal Murray's been playing. I know Michael Porter's not a guard, he's more of a wing, but Michael Porter has turned up in these playoffs as well. KCP's even had his moment in these playoffs. So it's like any given time, any of those guys can have their moment with Jokic. Jokic's gonna get his. It's just a matter of who else is getting theirs that night too. It could be Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown has shown up in these playoffs.
Yeah.
It could be Bruce Brown just randomly getting backdoor screen, backdoor cuts, dunking on guys left and right, or making shots, doing what we didn't think he could do. You just don't know. They got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of good guys around Jokic. Like, this is a great team built around him. Because Jokic's gonna find you. And we seen that. He gonna whoop. Gonna find you. He gonna get the rebound. He gonna do everything. He can do everything. And I don't see how, if people watch this finals. No, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. I know a lot of casuals gonna watch the finals. A lot of casuals, I'm gonna save y'all. I'm gonna save y'all this week, all right? Let Tariq handle y'all. Tariq already handled y'all, a couple minutes ago. I'm gonna save y'all this week. But I don't know, man. I'm just ready for a good series. Best time of the year, in my opinion, man. The official start to summer, in my opinion. I know Memorial Day weekend just passed. People really mark that as like the start of the summer. NBA Finals roll around. You see the montage of all the old whatchamacallits of all the old finals, and you see Magic Johnson talk about so back to back. Yeah. That was, I don't know why. In my household, my dad would say that every year during every finals because they were always showing in like that finals like preview thing. But yeah, just know NBA playoffs, NBA finals, that is the official mark of the summer. It's good time. Yeah. It's good hoops, good vibes, man. Just everything's good, man. So I really can't wait to see what happens in these finals. Prediction, I'm going with Heat. And God knows however many games. I'm not even gonna put a game limit on it. If it's 5, 6, 7, it'll be at least 5. The series
I forgot.
Either way. The series goes at least 5 either way.
I forgot. I was shocked that you were picking. I was shocked that you were picking us, but I just remember why you're picking.
I mean, yeah.
It's a couple, respect 15.
It's a couple reasons why I'm picking y'all.
He not trying to lose his bet.
I'm not.
He don't want to. He don't want to pick Jokic to win a championship because he know how I'm gonna be on here, and he don't want to lose his bet against his boy. He said
What
the
if I
Nets
just
are
want
gonna
to
win
see
a
Jimmy to
championship
win
before
one?
the
What if
Nuggets.
what if I just want to see Jimmy win one? You ever thought about that?
Is that it though?
It is part of it. Yes, I would like
But
to
you
see.
said
No, no, no.
you picked Boston last series.
I did
You
pick
want to see
Boston last series. I did pick
this
Boston
man of
last
all
series.
people wanted to see Boston versus
I
LA.
did pick Boston last series because I listen. Jason Tatum had me fooled. I ain't gonna lie. He dropped 51 game 7, and I'm thinking he's
Ooh.
gonna put like he's gonna continue, and it's gonna overflow into this series. I mean, he had good games this series, but I just didn't. I thought Jason Tatum that was in that game 7 was gonna show up in some of these games in this past series, but yeah. But yeah, the Heat. I got the Heat in. If I were to put a game on it,
6.
I'll say 6. I'll say 6. But see, I don't know though. Like that's because I just like I said, like Jokic is just nice. Like, all right. So I know Tariq has been high on Bam since Bam has put on a Heat uniform. Since Bam has put on a Kentucky uniform, damn it. What am I talking about? You know, he says he's one of the best defenders in the league. Now is the time to show that. Right? I mean, Light's gonna be as bright as ever, playing against 2-time MVP. Let's see how he does against the 2-time, probably should have been 3-time MVP. And Nikola Jokic. Now, if he's able to slow Nikola Jokic down, that'll be big for the Heat. But if you slow him down, it's like, how are you going to slow him down? It's going to be like, oh, we're not letting Nikola Jokic beat us. But are y'all going to let Jamal Murray get 30 every night? And let Michael Porter Jr. get 25? 15 to 20, whatever? I don't know why I said 25. But 15 to 20? No. It'll be interesting to see how Miami attacks Denver. I don't know. I don't think we talked about Denver too much. I think we have. But you're Tariq's Miami, I'm Miami. ML, what's your thoughts on the series?
What if I told you that statistically Jamal Murray is a better basketball player than Kyrie Irving?
Bro, I don't care about Kyrie anymore, dog.
It ain't nothing about you. I'm building up the case. I'm just trying to give you comparisons.
I already told people that it's many more players in the league that could offer what Kyrie Irving offers on a given night. And people call me crazy. People call me, it was like, oh, Bryce, you're just in your feelings. No, it's multiple guys in the league right now that can provide what Kyrie Irving can provide. All right. Maybe not the fancy layups as Kyrie. Maybe not that. Maybe not the controversial opinions. Maybe not that. But a cool 25 a night on close to 40% shooting, it's a lot of guys that can do that in this league. Yep. And they're all stars just as well as Kyrie is.
Yeah, he's the best under the rim scorer ever. Yeah. Yeah, he's got that. But Jamal, Jokic, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, that's one of the best 4 quartet from an offensive basketball perspective that you can have. You can spread the floor with 3 guys. You have a guy who can play above the rim in Aaron Gordon, which matters. You got a guy who can rebound. You have 2 really good passers out of that. You have shooting at the mid-range level with Porter Jr., Jokic, and Murray, and Gordon. They're a threat. Offensively, it may be the best team we've seen since 2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors in terms of potential. All that to be said, I'm a huge believer of gotta make it to 1 so that you can win 1. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Denver's not capable, just kind of like handling their business. But Miami's been through all the wars. The coaching advantage absolutely to Miami. And that's not even discounting Mike Malone. Mike Malone may be the second. He's definitely not lower than third best head coach in the West. That's for sure. Truly believe that. Jokic will. Here's the thing, and no disrespect to Jimmy, Jokic will be the best player on the floor every single game, and that matters in the finals. That matters in the playoffs. Now, if you ask me to say who are the next best five, I like Jimmy, Jamal. I think Bam Adebayo is better than Aaron Gordon. That's just me.
Oh yeah.
I actually think Bam helps you win more than Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
That matters. That matters with your top heavy. But if Caleb Barton's shooting like he is, then he's gonna do exactly what Michael Porter Jr. is gonna do. And then how could that be able to balance out? Part of me is saying Miami 6. It's not even to just be different. I want to say Miami 6, but my pick has to be Denver in 7. So I'm just going to respect Jimmy's going to get you 1. Spo gets you a 2nd. He'll figure it out. And then there's a Heat home game where Gabe Vincent's doing his thing and getting off. He'll find you, that'll get you to game 3. Now, then you got to be able to prepare for the Denver heightened, not just because I'm not talking about because of the elevation, etc. They have incredible fans. They have incredible fans. That arena is always rocking. And that's one of the couple disadvantages I see for y'all, Tariq. Y'all are not consistent fans. And I'm talking like where y'all are there 30 minutes before and it's already rocking. It's crazy. You got people, this, that, and the third. Y'all don't have that. That's going to matter.
Y'all know what be going on in Miami.
Yeah, so that's what you got. A lot going on. Shout out Tootsies. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to say Denver in 7. My heart for Jimmy Butler into Junior wants to say Heat in 6. But I got to go with my mind on this. Last time I gone through my heart, it got broken up with a sharpshooter and a lot of Photoshop on your boy. So just keep it like that. So that's my pick, man.
Tatum today, man. That's crazy.
That's my pick.
They put your head on Deuce Tatum today. That's wild.
Come on, Doc.
I laughed pretty loud when I saw that.
I like Marlo. My name in the street. My name is in the street.
My name is my name.
You say my name is in the street. Till anymore. Yeah, nah, man. This is name in the street. I got packed up. What can you do? What can you do? I appreciate y'all boys having me though, man. Always it's good to chop it up. Hopefully Jacob will get out of his slumber and we'll get him back on. So yeah, brothers.
Who do y'all think are the X factors for this series?
Ooh, I'm asking you tomorrow for the quick article because there you go. For me, Jokic gonna do what he gonna do. Jimmy gonna do what he gonna do. Y'all gave up a lot to Jalen Brunson. And Jamal has similar bag, more from the outside. So that's a problem. And if Bam, I'm not saying Bam got to be Julius Randle. Actually, it's kind of good that he won't be Julius Randle offensively because Julius Randle's efficiency bad, but Bam elevates you defensively. I'm going to say Jamal Murray. Okay. I'm going to say Jamal Murray. You know what it feels like, which will be wild. Jamal could mess around and get the MVP.
He could.
He definitely could.
Tony Parker 03 type vibes. 20 years ago, actually. Yeah. Tim's the best player of the team, but Tony was able because Cleveland ain't got nothing for him. He was throwing Boobie Gibson on him. Come, what do you talk about? Talk to me, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This kind of feels like that a little bit. Gabe Vincent, Yeah. Respectfully.
Gabe Vincent, he gonna hustle now. He gonna compete.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of my point. But you need a dog to go at Jamal for 7 games. And I'm not saying Gabe ain't a dog, but you need an extra mentality. So
I think it's Caleb.
He gets Caleb Martin.
I think Caleb Martin gonna see. Well, if it's not Jimmy that's gonna be on Jamal Murray, I think it'll be Caleb Martin. And we'll see that matchup. I feel like if the Heat are in a position to win, it would be because of Caleb Martin's play, just like how the Eastern Conference Finals were.
I agree.
And that'll be interesting, man. But yeah, for the Heat, X Factor would definitely be Caleb Martin. For the Nuggets, I'll say Michael Porter, man, because like you really gotta have that third piece, like not even in like a big three sense, but you really gotta have like that third guy. I mean, yeah, it could be a 2-man show, whatever, but championship squads really, they always got that third guy that's gonna do more than the other. Just propel themselves, just like, all right, yeah, that third guy was really that piece, like Warriors, you had Steph and Clay, but when Draymond was on, see what happened. Draymond playing good offensively, it's a long night for whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cavs, I'm just talking recent history. Cavs, Kevin Love, he was there. He was that third guy. Getting rebounds, outlet passes, scoring. I don't think who was the third guy for the Raptors. You really had Kawhi,
Fred,
that was good. You had Fred, that was tough. Pascal, Kyle. So they really had a good squad all around. So yeah, like you gotta have multiple. Yeah. It's a team game in the day. It's a team sport, team game. Yeah, they got the MVP on one side, but they also got a great squad around the MVP. Yeah, they got a guy that's an all-star in this league and one of the best players in this league still. But they got a good team around him too. And that's why they've both gotten this far. And that's why they're both championship caliber teams. And they're playing in the championship. So you both got these good, high quality, high caliber players. And I really think it's gonna take, like, that's why you can't overlook depth. People are just trying to build teams as, oh, we're good, we don't need depth. We've seen how depth has played a role in these playoffs all this whole year. Either having a lack of depth or having great depth. We've seen how both has worked out.
Yeah.
I feel like part of why the Lakers made the run they made because they had some good guys in their squad that can come in and produce.
Yep.
Austin Reeves, man, he's a household name now.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it'll be a fun series, bro. But X Factors, I said Nuggets, MPJ, Heat, Caleb Martin.
The Heat don't have to worry about as many threes being made in this series. Let me give you some quick stats, just the playoff stats. The Nuggets are first in offensive rating. However, Heat had 16 for defensive rating, so middle of the road, right?
Okay.
Net rating +8. That just means offensive juggernaut, right? So similar style to Boston, but just with a much more dominant big man. Denver is 7th in assists, turnover percentage. This is a big one. Only 11 a game. That's first in the league. I ain't gonna have that. I ain't gonna have Jaylen Brown on this high crossover. Did hit it. Yeah,
I just feel like he dribbled like a puppet, bro. Oh my goodness. I remember
what's going on.
It was like Jaylen Brown dribbles like somebody's controlling him in his brain.
Miami is first in 3-point percentage in the playoffs, 40% clip. So if they're getting 40% of their threes, no blowouts. Another thing, I look closely to see how people do in their game ones, and then when people have teams on the road or at their own crib. Minnesota was up late on Denver in game one, right?
Yeah.
Right. You gotta be gotta be mindful of that. In my opinion, that's just that's how I feel.
Yeah. And
Denver against Ball,
we've been we've been the best team this season and in the playoffs in clutch games, whether it be 5 minutes or less, 3 minutes or less. Like when it comes down to the last minutes, I think we have 41, 42.
Yep.
Like
Lakers
clutch games.
Yep.
And I think we were 32-9, 32-8, something like that in those games. So that is one thing that I feel like we have in our favor is when the game gets close and it gets a little testy. But the Nuggets have been great in clutch time in the playoffs. Like when they've needed somebody to step up and get a bucket, Jamal got it, Jokic got it. Aaron Gordon came up with some big shots in Game 4 against LA. KCP came up with some big shots. Like they've got players that have made big shots and big moments for them in this series, but it's the finals. So can you make it when the lights are at the absolute brightest?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this series is going to come down to because it's the finals. It's a lot of pressure just to make one shot.
Oh yeah, everybody's watching.
Let alone make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh yeah.
Who's gonna live up
That's
to,
where I'm at with
live
it.
up to that pressure? Who's not gonna let the pressure get to them? Who's gonna make the big plays and make their name when it comes to who's gonna be talked about 20 years from now, 30 years from now? Who are gonna be those guys like, hey, y'all remember in 2023 when old boy, when so-and-so went crazy in the finals? Who's gonna be that person?
Remembering what Danny Green and how I'm sorry, Tariq, but Danny Green and him shooting all them damn threes against the Heat, or
That's why he almost helped us win in the bubble.
yeah.
And that was one of my points. Is like
he was on his Harrison bars.
One shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it's a lot of pressure to make one shot because you miss a shot,
Danny
you
Barnes.
lose the game, and you got damn death threats on you and your wife because you missed a three. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, people definitely turn it on, and legends are made in the finals.
Absolutely.
Gonna be a fun one, y'all. Gonna be a fun one.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Well, I appreciate y'all that be on for the finals preview.
Oh, for sure.
Sad it's not my boys in green and white, but it had me in I was in a wormhole over the last now it's been 24 hours. I think since game 3 it ended. I'm just trying to understand like what just happened, but most importantly, like, yo, what does Miami bring to the table? Congrats, brother. But you know what? Job ain't finished, but shoot. Y'all did pick up the ticket. You know how you get the little ticket. You get the cleaners, you take the shorty to the ice cream parlor, you get your ticket. They may be calling your ticket here, Tariq. Maybe calling your ticket. You and Jordan may have to time for some. What y'all talk to me about my room temperature water. What y'all doing? Cookies and cream, loose track, Superman. What you get? Sea salt caramel,
strawberry something.
Strawberry what? It say Fanta what? I'm talking about ice cream.
Yeah,
not a
strawberry.
Shake. We ain't no strawberry ice cream. What is this? Just get the clear strawberry shortcake. Yeah.
Like strawberry ice cream.
Apple pie. I got an apple pie ice cream from Cold Stone. That's
apple pie ice cream.
Yeah,
from Cold Stone. Okay,
I'm gonna have to tap in. Cold Stone bought a job too. I'm gonna have to tap in.
That shit is good, bro. I swear.
I'm gonna have to tap in. I just think I'm gonna be healthy.
Could be your last meal, Charleston St. Patrick over there. Could be your last meal. You Star Wars over there.
Charleston St. Patrick is a funny nickname, dog.
That's so crazy.
I need that to catch you with your friends. I need to be up on the IG. I need that to catch you.
That's so
hey, yo,
crazy.
CSB.
Dirty, man.
CSB.
They did my boy dirty, man.
Yeah.
Great versus the world now, man.
Phenomenal finale, by the way.
Real
quick left turn.
Out of my bed. I was like, hey, yo.
Thank you.